This video session will help us understand the writing and creation of APT files for the WowKey software. Writing and creating an APT file refers to composing a plaintext APT file and then converting the written plaintext APT file into an encrypted APT file. When executing a WowKey command, it requires providing an uppercase A or uppercase I as an option parameter. The encrypted APT file is then supplied for use in the specified process. So what is an APT file? APT is an acronym for account, password, and table, which in Chinese is referred to as a username password table. This table is used to register authentication credentials for logging into a host through WowKey. In other words, the data in the table represents login credential data. Writing a plaintext APT file. A plaintext APT file is a simple TXT text file. It does not require complex syntax rules or intricate data structures. Let's look at the content of an APT plaintext file. We will analyze its structure as a whole and summarize it into 3 modes, 2 data formats, and an optional WIS instruction script file. The first mode, the primary mode, refers to authentication via username and password. This is the fundamental mode of an APT file. If your system has not been configured for passwordless authentication before using WowKey, you must write data in the primary mode in the APT file to register the host login credentials. The second mode, the secondary mode, refers to logging into the host using passwordless authentication. This mode is optional and does not require any configuration in the APT file. Instead, it is enabled by executing the pfwis script in conjunction with the WowKey Sweat plugin. This mode allows for batch and automated login configurations. The third mode, the tertiary mode, is similar to the secondary mode, but it involves authentication using a private keys management password on a jump server. This mode also requires executing the pfwis script with the WowKey Sweat plugin. Additionally, the APT file must include the private key management password for the relevant jump server account. Finally, there is an optional WIS instruction script file. This is used for configuring passwordless authentication or private key management password authentication. The file is named ssh_public-key-login.inster and can be found in the WowKey installation package. This script automates and batch configures jump servers to log in to remote hosts without passwords or with private key authentication. It is efficient and easy to use. Creating an encrypted APT file. Creating an APT encrypted file means converting a plaintext APT file into an encrypted format using either base 64 encoding or encryption methods. There are 3 encryption management methods. 1. Base 64 encoding uses a shell command to encode a plaintext APT file into a base 64 encrypted file. The encrypted file can then be used in WowKey commands with the uppercase A parameter. 2. TPA encryption utilizes WowKey's built-in TPAS tool to encrypt the plaintext file. The encrypted file is then used with WowKey commands via the uppercase A parameter. 3. Public-private key or custom encryption. This method involves 2 steps. 1. Encrypting the plaintext file using a public-private key pair or a custom encryption command. 2. Creating a decryption script file, which contains a decryption command. In this case, WowKey uses the uppercase I parameter instead of A to specify the decryption script file. Important, the decryption script file, not the encrypted file, is what WowKey uses to decrypt the APT file. Analyzing a sample APT file. Now let's analyze a real APT file example to understand its structure and format. The file is located in the APT example directory within the WowKeylation folder. 1. Primary mode, username and password authentication. Format, host IP, delimiter, connector, asterisk separator, combined delimiter. Command prompt string. Important notes, the command prompt string must be followed by a space, otherwise it may cause WowKey to hang indefinitely. The login password follows as the final field. 2. Secondary mode, passwordless authentication. No data needs to be configured in the APT file. Instead, simply use the SSH public key login.inst script. 3. Tertiary mode, private key management password authentication. Host IP username _ server private KP keyword, fixed key separator, jump server private key password. Three methods for creating encrypted APT files. Now let's take a look at a specific sample data file. This file can be found in the APT example directory under the system installation path. This is the annotation section of the file, which includes important considerations for writing an AP file, as well as some explanatory information. This is the data structure for the first level login mode. We will particularly emphasize an important consideration regarding the command line prompt. If the command prompt configured in the APT file does not match the actual command prompt for the corresponding host account, it will cause WowKey to run indefinitely without timing out. The second level login mode does not require any data configuration. You only need to execute this script file. The third level login mode, in addition to executing this script file, also requires configuring the login credential data for the private key management password of the account on the jump server in the APT file. Alright, now let's take a look at the three methods for creating an encrypted APT file. We will understand these three methods through the execution process on an actual host. This file can be found in the APT example directory under the WowKey product installation path. Method 1, base64 encoding. Let's look at the first method, creating an APT file using base64 encoding. Navigate into this directory. This command will include WowKey's public library into the current session. Use this function from the public library to perform encryption encoding on this file. This creates a file in the current directory, which is the base64 encoded version of the original file. Let's verify whether the encoding was successful. This confirms that the encoded file can be correctly restored to its plaintext form. Then, in the WowKey command, use the uppercase A parameter to specify this encrypted file. Method 2, using the TPA tool. The second method is encrypting the APT file using the TPA tool. This step deletes any existing out files, but it is optional and can be skipped. Use the TPass tool to encrypt the plaintext file. The K parameter is the custom password you set, while the F and S parameters also function like passwords. You need to remember these three parameters because they will be required during the decryption process. The TPass tool has started working. it has encrypted this file into WowKey source demonstration 107.tpa. Let's examine this file. Then use the uppercase A parameter in the WowKey command to specify this file. Let's verify the decryption process. This command restores the encrypted APT file back to plaintext. It is now processing. Please be patient for a moment. Okay, the decryption was successful, which means this encrypted file can be used in WowKey commands. Use the uppercase A parameter in the WowKey command to specify this file. Method 3, public-private key encryption. The third method involves encrypting with a public-private key pair or a custom encryption approach. Here, we use the public key encryption method. First, let's check the system's built-in private key management password in the installation package. This command encrypts the WowKey demonstration.apt file into WowKey demonstration.rsa. This file has now been encrypted. Let's verify whether this encrypted file is usable. This command decrypts the previously encrypted file back into plaintext. You need to enter the private key management password. Once done, this confirms that the encryption process was successful. The third step is to create a decryption command file and write the decryption command into this file. Then, in the WowKey command, use the uppercase I parameter to specify this decryption command file. This concludes the explanation of the three methods for creating an encrypted APT file. Final recap: writing and creating an APT file. 1. Write a plaintext APT file using one of the three modes, 2 data formats, and an optional Wiz script file. 2. Encrypt the APT file using one of the 3 encryption methods. 3. Use the encrypted APT file in WowKey commands with parameter A or I. That concludes this video demonstration. Thank you for watching.